All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here on the Kenny Wallace YouTube channel. Got a little drama. I know you guys and gals love a little drama. So basically just breaking it down here. Chipper Jones, the former Atlanta Braves legend, Hall of Famer, Baseball Hall of Famer 2018. Big NASCAR fan, grew up around Daytona area. And he had some comments for Joey Logano. For Joey Logano's comments at Talladega, Logano obviously directed at his teammate Austin Cindric. So let's break it down here. First of all, I'm reading here, I'm not going to plagiarize, but Dustin Long of NBC Sports does a great job. So he writes this article, and basically he's also transcribing a lot that's going on that he heard on the radio today. So Dustin Long's article, Joey Logano responds to Chipper Jones' criticism over radio rant about Austin Cindric at Talladega. Okay. So basically, everybody, Joey Logano appeared this morning, on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio's The Morning Drive to address everything going on with Chipper Jones. So I'm going to read you some of the quotes here. And Joey Logano says, has Chipper Jones ever driven a race car at Talladega? Logano comments and said that he and Austin Cindric have talked and, quote, we moved on. Now, obviously, look, they're teammates with Penske. Austin Cindric gets the last laugh. He wins the race. But this was all about Joey Logano. You probably saw the radio rant, the expletive-filled rant, when basically Austin Cindric, I guess you could say, I don't know if allowed is the right word, but Bubba Wallace ends up winning the stage. And Joey Logano was not happy about that whatsoever. So I'll go to the rant first. This is the radio rant. You can see it on social media and all that. Joey Logano criticizing his teammate Austin Cindric. Let me find this for you real quick. I can't read you everything because there's so many swear words in this one. So here it is. So Bubba Wallace wins the stage. And afterward, Logano, you got him right there on the radio. He says, quote, way to go, Austin. Way to go. You dumb expletive. Way to go. What a stupid bleep. He just gave it to him. Gave Toyota a stage win. Nice job. Way to go. What the bleep. Okay. So that obviously went viral a little bit on social media. And then Chipper Jones goes to X, goes to Twitter. And I want to thank everybody for joining us here. 127 people watching live on YouTube. I appreciate that. So basically then, after seeing that rant on social media, Chipper Jones, the baseball player, goes to Twitter. And this is after the race, once Austin Cindric has already won the race. So he says, Chipper Jones, congrats to Austin Cindric on his Talladega win. Good teammates are hard to come by, boss. Remember that one of yours MF'd you on national TV when in all actuality, you did everything possible to keep from wrecking him. Hate to be deuces in the team meeting on Monday. Some people are hooray for our team as long as I'm the star, as every team has them. Hendrick, RCR, JGR, Penske, etc. Sometimes karma is glorious. Enjoy this one. In case anyone is confused, let me be clear. And then Chipper Jones with the at Joey Logano. So not only does Chipper Jones name Joey Logano, he puts Joey Logano in the tweet so Joey Logano can see it. And then basically Chipper Jones doesn't stop. After Joey Logano's post-race interview, Chipper Jones tweets, couldn't even congratulate Austin Cindric in the post-race. # team player. At least he mentioned being selfish in the interview. Credit! ! End of quote there. Okay. So that's basically the story. For those just joining us here, I'll just give you a real quick rundown before I read some more of Joey Logano's quotes that he made on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. Again, Austin Cindric, in his mind, is doing everything he can do to not wreck everybody and his teammate Joey Logano. Joey Logano thinks that Austin Cindric gave Bubba Wallace, a Toyota driver, the stage. Joey Logano is pissed about it. Joey Logano goes off on the radio, which I love, by the way. I think it's great for entertainment. I don't know what you guys think. Obviously, you can get drivers into trouble a little bit here, but this is fun, guys. This is entertainment. Boys will be boys. This is competition. People are going to swear. People are going to chirp back and forth. Who'd have thought Chipper Jones, the baseball Hall of Famer, would get involved? I think it's fun. I think it's good for business. If some of you think that it's petty, I get that, but I do think NASCAR is a sport where all publicity is good publicity. This is fun, guys. This is two legends, let's be honest, going after each other. Joey Logano is going to be a Hall of Famer in NASCAR. Chipper Jones is a Hall of Famer in baseball. They're chirping back and forth. It's fun. I appreciate it. Nobody died. And again, I think it's good for business. So anyway, Chipper Jones rips on Joey Logano on X. Joey Logano responds. And I've read from the Dustin Long article. Again, I'm trying not to plagiarize here. I'm giving my own opinion as well. Dustin Long, by the way, does a great job covering NASCAR. You should follow him, read all his articles and all that. So I'll go on here and I'll read you some of the transcript from Joey Logano today on SiriusXM NASCAR radio. But again, you guys can also go and just listen to it or watch it yourself. So here's what Joey Logano says in response to Chipper Jones' comments. Quote, has Chipper Jones ever driven a race car at Talladega? That would be my first question. I'm pretty certain he hasn't. That's like me saying something about baseball. I know nothing about baseball. That's like me saying something that he did, something in baseball that was wrong. That doesn't matter. You care about what people say, their opinion. If you really know them and they know you and they understand the scenario and the situation, everyone is going to have their opinion on how they see things from the outside. No one else, nobody, Chipper Jones, no race fans, nobody is in the room when we come up with how we're going to race at super speedways except the drivers, the team principals at Penske, and the crew chiefs. That is it. That's the only opinions that matter, the only ones. Again, this is Joey Logano today on SiriusXM NASCAR radio. These are his quotes. He continues, quote, so everyone can go off and talk about whatever they want. They don't know the situation. They don't know everything that goes into it. So it doesn't matter what they say. And that's probably why I never saw Jones's comments or really care about it after you tell me right now. Chipper Jones, he seems like a cool dude. He's done a lot, right? He's a pretty popular, good baseball player, but he's not a race car driver. And I know he wasn't in the room with us when we set in place the way things are supposed to go. Joey Logano, he continues. Long answer. Again, SiriusXM NASCAR radio. You can watch this or hear this yourself also. He goes on to say, you would think somebody that has been in professional sports and has been in meetings like that would probably take a step back and say, man, there's probably more to the story here than what there is. I'm surprised it went that way. Maybe he was just bored. I don't know what his situation is. I tell you, I don't care. Okay? So there you go. And go back and read Dustin Long's article here. He has a bunch more comments about super speedway racing. Joey Logano comments on how they're supposed to race with Austin Cindric. I'm not going to go super long. I know I always say that on these live streams, and then I go much longer. But I want to get your guys' opinion as well. I will say again, I think it's good for business. I think it's fun. Boys will be boys. The old saying in NASCAR, boys have at it. What do you guys think? Look, I understand why drivers maybe don't want the radio to be broadcast there. I think it adds so much, and every once in a while, a driver is going to get in trouble a little bit. Heat of the moment, right there in competition. The man is in the car. Joey Logano is fighting for a win in the car. And by the way, you probably know Joey Logano also, when the car was taken back, along with Ryan Preece, that they had improper modifications there. So it didn't even matter for Joey Logano, right? He was DQ'd there. But heat of the moment, he's in his car. He's pissed. He thought Austin Cindric did something wrong. I don't know the exact details, but that's where it comes out. I think it really adds to the broadcast. I think it really adds to the sport. I hope they keep doing it. And every once in a while, when a driver says something they shouldn't, or don't even know if that's the right way to phrase it. I mean, Ryan Blaney, one of the nicest guys in the world. Joey Logano, one of the nicest guys in the world. These guys get hot in the heat of competition, and they're swearing. They're the ultimate competitors. Doesn't bother me whatsoever, and I think it's good for the sport. I think it's good for the promotion and marketing of the sport. Let's read some of your comments. David Bennett. Let's see. David Bennett says, Joey shouldn't have hit the mic button, but hell, this is all a non-issue in my opinion. Ralph says, aloha, brother. Let's see. Bowline Rail Fan says, race car drivers do all they can do to get a good position, even if it means helping another manufacturer. Logano shouldn't have been so angry. Central Florida Viewing. Thank you, Ralph. Appreciate that. Let's see. We got Najee's Amazing Cars and NASCAR Diecast says, I'm the next crybaby here. Love it. David Bennett says, didn't even know who Chipper Jones was until this. Haha. I think you know by now, but Chipper Jones, amazing baseball player. Came up as a shortstop, third baseman, some left field for the Atlanta Braves, Hall of Fame player, 2018 Hall of Fame, got in with something like 97% of the vote. I actually interviewed Chipper Jones one time. It was at, I believe, the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, which I think was in Kansas City. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I did talk with Chipper Jones at an All-Star Game, and I believe it was 2012. Bowline Rail Fan says, I didn't know who he was either. Talking about Chipper Jones. You'd never heard of Chipper Jones? I'm surprised by that. NASCAR fans, Southern footprint, longtime Atlanta Brave from Florida. I know Chipper Jones is a big NASCAR fan. He's been on with Dale Jr. I know he's commented on NASCAR in the past. David says, Joey Logano is a crybaby. All right. Let's see. Ray says, teammates get pissed at each other. Do they mean what they say? Most likely not. It's petty to blow this up into an issue. I hear you. Now, do you think I'm blowing it up into an issue? We cover the sport. I think this is interesting. A lot of people were into this. A lot of people were into Kenny Wallace's video giving his opinion. You can go back on the channel here and watch that. That was posted yesterday. By the way, I'm only wearing a hat. I'm not usually a backward hat person. My hair's all jacked up. That's the only reason I'm wearing the backwards hat, just so you know. Okay. Monica Marusa says, who gives a bleep? I'm not going to put it up just because I don't care about swearing, but if YouTube does, I don't want to get anything wrong with the video. That's just, hey, we're trying to make money here, being honest. Who gives a bleep about celebrity athletes? All sports are rigged. Wait and see. Kudo Shakur says, I'm late. I'm lost right now. Now, this was a few minutes ago. Basically, long story short, Joey Logano on his radio at Talladega Sunday rips into his teammate Austin Cindric. Legendary Hall of Fame baseball player Chipper Jones rips into Joey Logano on Twitter after the race. Joey Logano responds today on NASCAR Sirius XM radio and basically says, does Chipper Jones know what it's like to drive a race car? I would think a professional athlete knows that more goes into us. I don't care what he says, so on and so forth. Go back, watch, and listen to the interview, Sirius XM, or this article I was reading from some of the quotes. Dustin Long, NBC Sports, great guy, does a great job covering NASCAR. I met Dustin Long a couple years ago. It was the first NASCAR race at St. Louis, the first year. So that was 3 years ago, because this is year 4 for Worldwide Technology Raceway having a NASCAR Cup race, which will be in the playoffs this year. Not in June, it'll be in the playoffs, which is pretty awesome. Let's see. Team Dissension, says Chris Arahood. It's all a work, Jason Whitman. Is this like WWE, you think? I think a little WWE doesn't hurt the sport. I'm not saying it's fake. I'm saying people like passion. People like feuds. People like a little fighting. I think it's good for business. What do you guys think? S. Waltz says, let's put Chipper and Joey in the boxing ring for charity. I bet Joey gets folded into a pretzel. Joey's about what? Is Joey early to mid-30s? Chipper Jones has got to be 50, right? Let me look this up. Chipper Jones. He's been out of baseball for a good 10 years. Chipper Jones is 53 years old. What's Joey Logano? Is he about 33 or so? Is he 20 years younger than Chipper Jones? Joey Logano will be 35 coming up here May 24th. So about 18 years younger than Chipper Jones. Who'd win in a fight? Chipper Jones bigger. Joey Logano younger. We're just having fun. They're not going to fight. Okay. Let's see. They should have hair versus hair match in a steel cage. Is that a new type of wrestling match? 5-star? Let's see. Your own vision. Live interpretation from Ralph. Najee's Amazing Cars and NASCAR Diecast says, who wants to see a crybaby whine like me and Joey? Chipper Jones was nice as. Kudos says, I'm also a Mets fan, so I hate the Braves. That longtime rivalry, Mets, Braves, the Mets fans would chant Larry. That's Chipper Jones' real name. That was fun. Grizzly J says, must be young. If you don't know Chipper Jones, I don't even watch baseball and heard about him a lot back then. Yeah, especially as I was coming up, Superstation, Braves were on TBS. You could watch all their games on cable, and they were so good in the early, mid, late 90s, early 2000s, and Chipper Jones was one of the faces of that franchise. Really good Hall of Fame player. Dave says, baseball player giving his opinion is ridiculous. Don't care if he's a Hall of Famer. Keep it to yourself, Chipper. Grizzly J says, at Dave, he's a fan. Fans give their opinion. Why should he be any different? I agree with that. I like it when they chirp back and forth. It's fun. It's good for business. Joshua Roberts says, Charlie M. Let's see. Brian Morton, I never really liked Joey Logano, but he was already an a-hole. I now hope he never wins another race. Karma is a B. You think Joey Logano is like that? I think he's a nice dude. I've interviewed him several times. I like him personally. Let's see. We have Joshua Roberts, hi from North Carolina. Ray, not you, just people on social media saying people are making a big deal of this. I get it, though, and the media plays into this. We're the media. I understand, but it's also, this is how you cover the sport from race to race. It's fun, guys. It's fun. There's a little WWE, but it's fun. It's two big-time Hall of Fame personalities going at it a little bit. I love it. Let's see. Adam Thurman, Team Penske fan here. Logano is unfortunately standing his ground when looking at all angles from the race. It would have gone completely different for these guys had Cindric not lifted. So let's see. We have Crazy Mechanic. I'm just thinking, wanting NASCAR more exciting, you have to keep the radio convos going. I agree. Teammates shouldn't crash each other, but I want to see every single driver be a little selfish for their team. I agree. It's good for business. The radio chatter is great for social media. It's great for storylines. Kudo Shakur. So he's mad he lost that stage to Bubba. Thinking Joey Logano at the time thought that Austin Cindric basically gave the stage to Bubba. Austin Cindric, in his mind, was doing whatever he could not to wreck the whole field. Blake Brewer. I love Lamp. What a great callback to Ron Burgundy and Anchorman. Although that was the sports guy, right? That said, I love Lamp. Jim Milton. He says, I get the passion from Joey, but he was acting like it was Retzlaff pushing Burton to the win last year. Logano has 2 playoff points already from Kudo Shakur. Let's see. Some people going after Joey. Oddball, 77th. Here's the problem with Joey. He's nothing without Penske and Paul Wolfe. You put me in the car and I'm winning a championship with that team. You sure about that? Joey Logano is a big race driver. Joey Logano comes up clutch when everything is on the line. I understand if you don't like Joey, but you can't deny, I mean, look at the championships. 3 championships, 2 in the next-gen era after seasons that weren't great. That man steps his game up in the playoffs. You got to give him credit for that. Let's see. Bowline Rail fan. I likely am one of the few Americans that don't follow baseball. Auto racing is the only sport I became a fan of. I didn't even know he was a Brave, and I grew up in the CSX Bowline region of Georgia. Randy Menti says, Joey, tell this Chipper to get behind the wheel. Not as easy as it looks. Chipper what? Chipper who? Aerospace Valley plane spotting. Not even active, but he is in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's 53 years old. Let's see. Chipper from Ralph, racing enthusiasts, car automotive fan. James Clater says, good morning, guys, from the West Coast. Joshua Roberts gives us the hello. Adventures with Stinky. Hi, Stinky. Things said in the heat of the moment shouldn't be taken or should be taken with a grain of salt. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I always say I'm not going to go very long, and I always go much longer than I say I will, but I appreciate you guys jumping on, hanging with me here. We got how many of you? We have 900 people total, more than 900 people total that have watched this stream. We have 160 right now. I'll go to a few more comments. Let's see. Kudo says, LMAOO, people really don't like Joey. He's my top 5 drivers right now. I'm also new to NASCAR. Well, welcome. I'm kind of new to NASCAR too the last 3.5 years. Covered it in Michigan, 2006, 2007. Moved to St. Louis, so we didn't have a NASCAR Cup. Kind of lost touch with NASCAR. Started the Kenny Wallace YouTube channel with Kenny 3.5 years ago, and now I'm gung-ho NASCAR, and I love it. Let's see. Joshua Roberts says, it's good for business, definitely. Yes, talking about the drama. It is definitely good for business. Let's see. We got Gregory Bradley says, Chipper would fight over a poker game in a club. Ask Greg Maddox. Brent Ruvio, next time, Cindric should just send him to the shadow realm by not lifting. Then when Logano gets mad, say, isn't that what you wanted? So a Toyota didn't win? Let's see. Ralph says, supporter, long-term Penske, may have some rough edges on and off the record. Okay, well, now you're on the record because this is live. Howdy, Shade Tree Speedway. Yeah, Eswald says, smash that like button. Please drop a comment. Hit that like. It helps us. Subscribe if you haven't. We're having fun talking NASCAR. Let's see. Here we go. This is a good one. Blake Brewer. Joey should have said I'm a big, hairy American winning machine, and I wake up and piss excellence. No one can hang with my stuff. Little Ricky Bobby. I love that. Crazy Mechanic. My daughter and I met Joey at a Planet Fitness. He was so cool and genuine. Here we go. Oddball 77. Biggest problem with NASCAR now is the broadcasting, especially Fox, hoping for better with Amazon and Dale Jr. That's your opinion, not mine. But I like the passion. I always say when people are criticizing whatever, broadcast, race, it's because you love the sport. It's because you have passion. You want it to be great. You want it to be better. I appreciate that. Okay. Bill Ripley. Without Paul's genius, Logano is middle of the road. Just my opinion. I disagree with that. I think he's a Hall of Fame driver, but you also need help. Penske's a great team. Crew chief is a great chief. Paul Wolf, I get it. It's a team, but Joey Logano is pretty dang good, guys. 3-time champion. Come on now. Let's see. Shade Tree Speedway. I really don't like the whole Toyota, Chevy, Ford thing. They all should work together. It would make for better racing, I believe. Real quick, want to let everybody know what's going on. Smoked says, is Kenny coming back to North Wilkesboro this year? I'm not sure, but here's our schedule real quick. Kenny's going on the Cow Petty charity ride. He's leaving Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. I'm going out of town, actually. Not that you care about that, but we're going to have Herman Schrader. The episode drops Wednesday morning, very early on Dirty Mo Media Podcast. It'll drop on this YouTube later that day on Wednesday. We have a Kenny conversation with Austin Harris, a young race fan, driver, and crew guy of Kenny's, to kind of get into the mind of a young NASCAR fan. Why are you into cars? Why are you into racing? NASCAR's going after younger fans. Why can't they get more people like Austin Harris? That's the Kenny conversation coming up on Thursday. Again, Dirty Mo Media early in the morning, podcast, YouTube later that day. And here we go. I'll end like this. Dave, for all you Joey haters, you have to say Joey is an incredible talent. I agree. Let's see. And Dwayne Cossey. When it comes to the last laps of a race, there are no teammates. Every man for himself. Hear, hear. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody watching. 179 of you live on YouTube. I'll put this on podcast, Kenny Wallace Media. Please rate and subscribe the podcast as well. Let me check the numbers real quick. We have 1,100 people that have watched this video. And again, thank you. Please comment, like, subscribe. 179 of you watching right now. Let's see. I got one more. Bowline Rail fan. I considered getting Amazon for the 5 races they have, but my sister who has it says it's $130 for her. Looks like it'll be the first time I missed the Coca-Cola 600 since I became a fan. Well, that stinks. Maybe go to a bar. Maybe go to a bar and watch it, right? Blake Brewer says, have a day. Thank you, Blake Brewer. Have a day as well. And now, see, you keep responding. I'm trying to read all of them. Kudo Shakur, not for nothing, I've turned a lot of people into NASCAR fans. LOL, it's so fun and unpredictable. I agree, Kudo. All right, guys, love you all. Comment, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. We'll see you. Have a great rest of your week. End stream.